Good evening, everyone. Welcome to panel discussion for this week is technology the solution for contact center productivity? So to discuss this technology related topic, which we usually do on the contact center and the customer experience perspective, this week we have three panelists. Before I introduce the panelists, let me introduce the topic, why we picked this topic and all that. So we know the customer experience, how um, well, it is used by the companies to differentiate themselves and their services and their products and to position themselves and to gain advantage. So how well they are using and how the technology, right, is being the backbone of providing enabling all these things, how it is being used, how is it being viewed by the companies in terms of the contact center productivity, right? Because we know we measure usually the contact center productivity by different ways, right? How many what is the talk time, how, what is the first contact resolution and different ways. But um what is that the technology enables you to do, and what we are getting out of it. So that's going to be the premises, and and we'll look in deep into this. So I want to start with one small like a stats that we came across a Forbes study, which we shared in the previous episodes. I'll reiterate that one more time. There are 26% of this survey finding mentioned finding a right, what is going to be the important things, right? 26% mentioned finding the right answers to customer questions, right? That's that seems to be the most interesting one. The 25% mentioned different ways system and information sources giving different answers, and the 20% mentioned hoping from one up hopping from one application to the other. So and the 14% mentioned we hard to keep up with all the new technology that changes, right? And then the remaining 15% mentioned other issues. So these all are the top the issues that is given are listed out by this most of the agents and the customer service executives, so they are expressing from their perspective. So how the technology is shaping up, or getting ready to solve these problems, or make it better for them, so they in turn can give a better customer experience to their customers, right? So that's going to be the whole premises. And I want to add one more my personal experience, which just happened yesterday. Why I'm adding is the technology and everything is on one side. I always believe and I always talk about one thing, that is a happy employee is very important. Happy employee, and that's going to be the a very important part of making a happy customer, right? Because at the end of the day, the employee who's interacting with the customer has to have that conviction of take that ownership to understand what the other side of the the phone line customer is trying to explain, and show the empathy, and and make sure he is doing everything what he can to solve the problem, right? Because the other side, the phone is ringing, means there is a problem, right? So this my experience yesterday, usually I share a good example. Unfortunately this time it's not a good example, but still I want to share how not training your employee, or not having a technology, what damage it can do. Okay, so I have been with one of home what do you call this, is in the US we have something called service providers who you can go and then enroll for a monthly fee, so, and then they give you something called warranty for the home, right? So anything that goes wrong, so we have so many things, right, within the house, so many different motors, so many different appliances, fridge and everything, like and then fan and everything, and anything everywhere goes wrong, like so we'll end up calling some handyman to come and help and fix. So these companies, what they do is they sell a product, and where they collect monthly premium, and whenever we have a problem, we can call them, and then they will ask us for a deductible, and then they send somebody, some sort of local service provider to get it fixed, right? So I also have that, and paying about like $100 a month, as a monthly premium. So when we called for a microwave, a person came and fixed, and he went, but then when he fixed, he broke the light, whatever he did, right? So the light was not working. So you know how difficult it is to use a microwave without a light, right? So it's like you can't really see anything what is inside. I mean, it's boiling or not and all that, you wouldn't know. So it's really annoying. So he said he will come back and fix, which never happened. And I'm trying to follow up for many months. It didn't happen. So I called this company where we are paying the premium, and the response what they gave was really pathetic, actually. So and they said they are going to check with the service provider, and then he hold me on other line and then checks with the other service provider, and then come back within few minutes and tells me, sir, this is service provider says he did not break the microwave. So if you have a proof that he broke it, and then I will take the case. I said, uh, the service provider came many months back, and he's there in the house for sometime they are spending like a 2-3 hours, right, to fix it. Do you expect me to have a video of a service person the whole time to prove that he did something wrong? I'm not even sure he did something wrong or not. I'm not blaming, but all I'm saying is the light was there before and it's not working. I don't know what really happened. And he acknowledged it, and he said he will come back and fix it. And now you're asking me for a proof. I don't have. And if this is the way you are treating me, then I don't want this service. Let's end the service right away. I don't want to have this plan anymore. So the long story start, so within the same call, I came out of that service contract, and then I had them to cancel it, and then got out of it, because that's not something that I want to deal with, because that's not the right way of approaching a customer. You don't first of all blame the customer, right? So you want to understand somebody saying something. You are there to help. You are not there to judge or make a this kind of statements, right? So what I'm saying is I don't know. He does not have enough tool to tell him what really happened, or they don't have a way to track what the interactions were, or it is just a lack of training, or this employee is not just happy, right? And he is just grumpy, and he's taking it on the end customer who's on the call. Whatever it is, it did not go well. So that's experience I just had last night, so I thought I will share. So with that, so let me just quickly go over and introduce the panelists. Some of the panelists were there before, so our audience would be knowing, and then we have one new panelist also here, Vignesh. So so let me start with Balaji. Balaji has won a different hats in his so many years of experience, including CTO, CIO, digital transformation expert, and so the latest stint, he is with Indie Trade, and he is well versed with the BFSI, fintech, retail, and a very well known name, and so a lot of skills on the AI, ERP, BI, RPA, and business processes and everything. I'm sure Balaji is here to add a lot more value and to our panel. And so let's welcome Balaji to this discussion. Thanks, Balaji, for being here.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so next, Vignesh, so I'm so excited. I learned so much about Vignesh in last 15-20 minutes. So happy for him. So Vignesh is a fintech enthusiastic with more than 10 years of banking experience. And before, co-founding Capital, he had stints with Axis Bank, Yes Bank, Pay, and a lot of different startup environments. So he's very well versed with that, with in the fintech and in the full the ecosystem. So the capital serves NBFCs, MFI, cooperative banks, and trust sections. So he's recently just sharing a success story, how well they were able to help one of the biggest the cooperative bank in India, and how well they are able to connect and deliver the product. It's very exciting to know that they are being a small startup and having such a huge success in the short amount of time. So we want to wish him a very good luck to Vignesh, and welcome Vignesh to the panel, and expecting a lot to learn from Vignesh. Thanks Vignesh for being here. And the last one, but not the least, Bala, right? Bala Krishnan Kania. So we always call him Bala. Everyone knows in the CEO club in Chennai, Bala. So very popular, and currently functions as a director of cybersecurity and technology at Expelio Group. He had a experience with a lot of MNCs, IT transformation engagement, and IT security projects. So he is very well known in that space, and very well versed with the BFSI sector, the PCI, ISO, SSAE, and the SOC. And he has a tremendous knowledge in that space. So we are happy to welcome Bala to this panel discussion also. Welcome, Bala. Thanks so much for being here.
Thanks, Uttaman.
Okay, so without further ado, we'll start with some discussion points. So that way, so we will try to share our thought point and everything on our experience. So the audience, will benefit from this, right? So the topic is technology, the solution for contact center productivity, right? So the first discussion point we want to start with Vignesh. When it comes to contact center technology, you have multiple options available in the market. How do you go about choosing the right technology for your needs? What are the good practices you follow? Any mistakes that you can think that one guard against? This is in general, so because you are in the fintech, you have a lot of interactions with the customers. So how do you go about it, and how do you handle that?
Thanks a lot, sir. Thank you very much. See, all my 12, 13 plus years of experience in this financial institutions, so majorly in banking for more than a decade. So we had the technology by itself has evolved a lot, actually. Okay, so we are a population of almost 140 crores. In that, you won't believe we have more than 200 crores of CASA accounts for 140 crores of population. So that is how India has been evolved, actually. And on the technology front, RBI is the godfather of financial institution, as everyone knows. Okay. So one thing which we always, bankers or as a fintech people, we always keep in mind that RBI will be coming up with either of any of circulars. Okay. We have to adapt that and we have to adapt that. Okay. On the technology front, RBI started the wing called NPCI in 2009. Where they came up with this CTS 2010 check truncation system. Then NPCI was responsibility for IMPS, RTJs and all. Then in 2016, they came up with a new technology called UPI, which is now developed, which is been dominating the world, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
So which is now being adapted in almost 15 countries now. And another 25 countries are about to adapt these technologies, this UPI technology alone. Okay. So I have been working in this UPI for predominantly for quite some time, actually. During my second master's in IIM, as well as in my previous organization in Pay, predominantly we were doing a transaction of almost a lakh transaction in one single day. Okay. So, and sorry, 1 million transaction in a single day, not 1 lakh. 1 million transaction was happening in one single day. Okay. So that is how the technology has been evolving. On the banking front, 10, 15 years, almost a decade before and all, we used to use ledger balance, those kind of a thing. Then came the core banking system, where TCS came with this Bankit, then Infosys came with Finacle, I had the opportunity in Axis Bank in the development team of Finacle actually. Okay.
Oh,
Finacle is now globally used by almost 85% of the banking in globally. So
wow.
that is the strength of Finacle actually. They have almost 20,000 different options, predominantly in retail banking or in corporate banking, almost 30 or 50 different options would be used actually. Okay. And to say very frankly, in this banking sector and the core banking system is the most predominant thing. So after this ledger balance, those things and all, then came the core banking system. Upon core banking system, all the people have started adapting phone banking, then mobile banking.
Well,
In
yeah.
India, especially in this out of 140 crores, there is almost 125 crores of mobile is being used. In that, 83 crore smartphones are being used. Okay,
Wow.
almost 83 crore smartphones. All the smartphones can now be in use for this mobile banking. Okay, so that is one reason it has come up in that way. Phone banking, mobile banking, now WhatsApp banking. Recently, HDFC have launched WhatsApp banking. So that is how technology is been evolving. Since this UPI players like Google Pay, Phone Pay are dominating this UPI transaction things and all. So, and we are not pretty sure UPI will dominate for the next 1 decade or something. So since the technology is evolving, next 5 years, that is what the maximum thing we have uh, researched that it will reach its saturation point. After that, AR, VR, those kind of a virtual artificial intelligence and MI will be coming up with new virtual reality kind of technologies will be adapted.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Vignesh. So, Balaji, like the next, I'll go with you. So today, the omni-channel contact center, trumps everything, else, right? So that seems to be the buzzword, right? The omni-channel. So, however, you can still choose what channels you want to be present. How do you go about making that decision? Do you follow any thumb rules or survey your existing customers about their preferences?
Thank you, Taman. Thanks, Bharat Connect team, and thanks to the co-panelists and all the people who are attending it. So most of the question and answers, if you Google it or if you go to YouTube, we'll be getting it out. So this is purely out of my own experience. The answers are being shared. Okay. First and foremost, when we are deciding to go to the contact center solution. Okay. So out of experience, what I've seen is first understand what is the present business process. Okay. So business process, we should completely get in and out of what is the present business process and what is the scalability we want to do it. Okay. So once you have all this data with us, then choosing the partner comes into the play. While choosing the partner, what I've seen is the partner should grow along with us. It should not be eat and run case with anybody. And they should have all the capabilities right now. Whatever that capabilities which we're discussing from a technology standpoint, they need to have it. So once you have this complete technology capabilities, and if they understand our business process well enough, because what happened in this entire journey throughout my career, what I've seen is everybody's a partner for us. Okay, so we discuss our business pain points to them. So once they understand the business more and more, they're going to give us a solution. Okay, so I come to you guys as a solution provider. So I've seen a lot of things where they should have a lot of technology capability. They also need to understand the business domain capabilities also. Okay, so once these two things are there, then we can able to do a kind of marry both together and get into the solution. So this is where I decide what kind of this is where I decide. Sorry, this is where I decide what kind of a product, what kind of a company we need to type. Point number one. Little bit brief about my company. We are fintech platform where we integrate the customer on one end, the partners on the other end, and then the lenders on the other end.
Yeah.
Since I do a lot of partner onboarding, I do a lot of customer onboarding through fintech platform. For me, certainly omni-channel retail, omni-channel is very, very paramount for me.
Yes.
Reason is customers are there everywhere. Okay, they come through whichever channel they want. They will use a mobile app, come and do onboarding. I will also talk to them and then do a complete onboarding activity.
Yeah.
Or they will do inbound, or I will do outbound, or only through browser they'll be doing it, or only through chatbot they'll be doing it. So the customers are there everywhere. So only we need to find out how to approach these customers for a business solution perspective. For me, the partners are there everywhere, customers are there everywhere. I approach them. So once again, here comes the process definition. Okay, so how long we can touch base with them, because we also shouldn't burden them with many calls, because nowadays too many calls, everyone is getting it. So can we fine tune only what is the business requirement and when we can able to touch base with them and get the right input from them, put the right inputs in the system. So system will have the complete capability of 360-degree visibility about all our leads or all about the customers, because the talking time, the interaction time is very, very less to the customers. Once a number has been dialed, if I can able to say complete dashboard of complete my interaction with them, now it helps the caller to engage more, because the entire business comes when we do the engagement more and more. So that's what we see it out of my experience.
Yeah.
So for this, what we need to do, capture the relevant information, what customer is giving it, and put the right information. Sometimes in omnichannel, what happens, customer would have started the journey in a mobile app. Then I will be talking them from my call center. Then the customer will be calling me. So I need to have the complete history, where he left, what is the second, what is the third person. If I kept on asking him from the beginning, what happened, what has happened, customer will get frustrated, I lose my customer. Because end of the day, in the financial domain, I need to touch base with the customer, where I do have a customer wallet share. That means I want to maximize my engagement with the customer, offering multiple financial products. Okay. Sometimes customer might not get a loan due to certain business activities. I need to tell him how to keep improving his financial statements and all. So I need to do a lot of engagement for next 3 months to 6 months. I need to touch base with them. After that, when I talk to them, then I will just get only the bank statement and proceed with my loan processing capabilities. Okay, so for me, the constant touch point need to be there. So I need to know where I left it, what are the last interaction, when I need to talk to them. So this kind of capability we need to build it. When it comes to omni-channeling, once again, what happened? Nowadays, chatbot is also getting into a mainstream right now. Where AI is getting into mainstream right now. So now what I do is I take input from you on a chat. And whenever he calls, that same input is given to me also whenever I call. Whenever I'm doing outbound call, the entire input is available to me, so that from where I left it, I can talk to the customers and close it. Okay. So my thing is, if you're building complete omni-channel, please get into the every process where the customer has left and what the next channel customer is engaging. Once the customer stops there, then from which channel is getting engaged. So if we can able to keep track of this complete thing, and if we have a 360-degree dashboard of it, I would say please go into the omni-channel capabilities, because customers are there everywhere. You need to go and export it. That's my experience here. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Very well said, Balaji. Yeah. So they are there everywhere. So it just, we have to make it available, and so using a different channel, and then would make a lot more sense, right? To be able to understand and be able to help them. Yeah. Okay. So the next point will go to Bala. So what productivity applications do you use as a part of your contact center platform? So how do you use them? Can you provide some use case or a different productivity application that you have, seems to be helping your organization?
Yes, thanks, Shataman. It is, if you talk about the productivity is in technological productivity is in part of technology, people, and process. Normally, I'll quote everywhere, and without technology, the people alone cannot achieve anything, and without process, and definitely it is something we are searching a black cat in the dark room. So it's a three-dimensional triangle. It is in that it is not rightly aligned. It is not as a triangle. It is in a different shape. Coming to that actual part of the productivity of application, and see, in the market, there are many applications in the market. All the applications are supporting us to give the best productivity and the best application and other things and all. So bring the value add from the application, how we are going to evolve the right process. It's a more important one. It's in a contact center related business.
Yeah.
Why the people is coming to the contact center? As Balaji mentioned, chatbot is in solve most of our problems. Still, you can able to go within a BARD or Google GPT. It is to give us a clear information to us and what next, what we are going to do. So
Yeah.
still the person trying to reach and listen the voice as a human voice, this gives some satisfaction to them, and someone is behind us. Someone is looking into our issue instead of we are they are talking into that mail or chatbot predefined answers, and the human voice and really it is make a lot more difference to that, and creating more on the feel. The feel is in phenomenal. We experience many time. We experience many time and do the banking transaction and do one transaction and the amount is credited, but when it will be revert back to us, we type it in the AI platform. AI platform give us a standard answer to us. The amount will be returned back to you in another 7 working days or 5 working days, whatever it is. What we'll do, still we go to the call center person and the contact center, reach the guy and share our the secret credentials and get the clarity on it. So this is the way that we all try to reach us into the contact center. The productivity is more with the application and more within how the user is in giving the right feedback to the user. So the people is in a more important one. The people is the more important and how we are going to do that and how we are going to respond back to them and to that. So most of the time most of the time I'll gives feedback and focus on how to improvise the uh, human response rather than focusing more with application. So how we are going to give us an upskill, level up our agents, and how we are going to streamline the agent experience, how to create the playbook and run book, and how to respond to the standard questions, how to coach the team. This is in a more focused area for me, but from my experience and collective of all the information and creating into the run book and giving the coaching to that the agents, call center agents, is the second part. And some of the anomalous question and some of the questions we may not able to experience, it is completely out of the box. And such a things and all we are going to evolve continuously so that we are out of the people's interacting with the call center. And overall is in 1,000 to 1,500 questions, all in the FAQ, but still they can able to go with a specific IVR1 and specific agent will be respond back to those parts. Improving on the quality is reporting and analysis is one of the major part. So the we can able to measure how the real time they are performing, they are giving the right solution to the user, and the end of the day, the user is in pressing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 the feedback button or not, and finally how the response we have given to the user. It is in the more thing we are going. I'm going to focusing more on that.
Yeah.
So it is basically it's a 3-dimensional one: the technology, people, and process. So the technology, one thing, what the application we choose, the contact center application. And the second one is in how we are going to empower, how we are going to coach and level up our resources. And third one, using the process, what the right process we are defined. The central
Yeah.
one, how we are going to improve the process.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. True. So yeah, if you don't do all different aspects, right? So it's not going to be easy for the even for the agents to be able to help at the end of the day and being able to measure the productivity. Yeah. Okay. So the next discussion point, right? So we'll take input from all three of you. Okay. So this is about employee experience directly influences the customer experience, right? The usage of technology empowers your customer facing resources to offer the best possible customer experience. Can you give some examples of how creatively you have used technology to provide customer experience? Anything that you can think of, some of this technology enable them to be able to handle this query in a better way, or whatever that case, like examples that maybe.
So uh, might be I'll take this question actually.
Yeah.
Sir, a decade before, while when I was a credit analyst, I used to handle customers for their loan applications. Okay. When my relationship manager used to go to the place over there, because I was handling almost 7 regions down south, sitting up in Madurai. So Madurai, Theni, Karaikudi, I was handling almost 7 regions. Okay. One such experience was that the RMs used to go to the customer place. He used to collect all the documents and all the business documents because I was handling the SME department. He used to collect the MOA, AOA, certificate of incorporation. At that time, it was TIN or TAN number was there, and balance sheets were there. Then net worth statement, those documents and all has to be collected. Then he used to courier it or he used to put it in the post. Okay. So on the technology front, once the technology is being adapted and a lot of usage has been come out, in the next 5 years after that, when I was acting as a credit analyst, we started collecting only the PAN number and the mobile number of the proprietor or the director.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it. So what happens is that using that, we used to collect the KYC documents automatically, and we used to do now the validation is being done very easily. Okay, if you just get your mobile number or the PAN number of the particular director or the proprietor, you can validate everything and anything. You can validate the Aadhaar, you can validate the PAN, you can validate their passport, driving license. In that way, there are almost 25 different types of validation, which can be done in ease. Okay.
Yeah.
And on the updation of the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, you can download all the company's details. Company detail, which means their last 3 years or last updated balance sheets you can get. What is their revenue? What is their turnover? What is their bottom line? Everything can be pulled out. And the next technology wise on the improvement, you take Sabres or other people's and all in the market, they give you sufficient data on the financial side. Okay.
Yeah.
Even now, doing for physical verification as well as for any kind of a legal validation, legal litigations and all, everything is now digital. So previously in all more 10 years back, if you are applying for a loan, it used to get 30 days to 45 days to process. Now Balaji sir and all is talking about seconds or maximum minutes.
Yeah.
So that is how the technology is being evolved actually.
Yeah.
So that is the customer experience, which our resources also gets adapted to that, because now the tab banking has come up. So everyone goes, there is no physical document collections. Everything can be scanned and can be uploaded. So, and the OCR technology has come up now. So optical character recognition, all the digital format can be converted into PDF or Word, and it can be delivered on ease. So there is no more typing also. You just use NLP also, natural language process also. They will do all your work for you.
Yeah.
So that is how the technology has been evolved in my experience.
Yeah, very true. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
Uttam, I can add it up from a business standpoint.
Yeah.
If you talk about customer experience, from a business standpoint, customer is touching with us in which are all the various stages. First, have a list of all the stages. For me, from a business standpoint, I do a physical team, where physically I travel, meet the customers. First, define how the customer experience is going to be there. Second, I do a complete digital onboarding solution where my partner or customer can download the app or come to my web platform and do it. There, define the complete customer experience. Then I do have a complete call center solution, which we call it as a virtual relationship management. They talk to the customers and partners. So there is another touch point. I define a solution for it. Okay. Then through a chatbot, what is the solution for it? So complete omni-channeling. Okay. At each stage, if customer comes, how the experience is going to be there. Okay. If you define that from a business process standpoint, you are in the game. So what we've done it interesting is we don't call anybody as a call centers or team, telecallers, nothing. Everybody is a customer experience team. If you talk from a call center perspective, okay. Physically, whenever I'm traveling and collecting a document, everything from a customer, extremely, like our Vignesh is told, how much minimum document you can apply, because from a fintech to NBFC or a bank, they have a huge set of data, almost personal information of customers. There are 100 fields we get captured. It's pathetic and painful for everybody to enter it. Just take one photograph, do OCR, read it, validate all the KYCs and capture store it. The expense is taken care because we are not burdening the customers with many set of documents. Automatically approval happens, decisions happening. Okay, decision-based system. Then I can able to give them approval. Once again, to a WhatsApp messaging where customer gets what is the person status immediately, and you trigger like everything that it should be intuitive design. Like it should say what is the next step customer need to do. That's how the entire design need to be there. So this is where the CX team and UX team plays a major role if it is a mobile app or from customer experience standpoint. Another thing, what if you're from a call center perspective, you talk, because since most of the decisions are from a telecalling perspective, I'm talking. What I've seen is there will be various roles in each and every organization where you restrict the data access to everybody. But when it's come to customer experience team, because they are the one who are front-ending the customer, we need to expose a complete set of data, equip them, give them a complete tool to discuss with the customer, because they are the one who are converting that to the sale right now. Point number one. After sale, they are the one who are resolving the query. So if they don't have this information, okay, once again, multiple 2 and 4 calls will be there. I'll come back to you. I'll come back to you. Where once again, the productivity goes out. Okay, if call comes, can you close it and move to the next call, complete it? Okay, that's where the productivity need to be there. That's where the expense need to be there. For us also, if you talk to anybody, we want the solution outcome, correct? So how we want that same approach we can give to whichever inbound calls or outbound call, or even if you're physically meeting anybody, or even if they come to a web or mobile platform, if you can finish it there, no, you're on the game. So that's what the experience need to be. Yeah. Thank you.
Bala,
let me add a few points on Balaji. Most of Vignesh and Balaji mostly covered the customer-facing resources and customer experience. One, I agree with the Balaji, and you can hold the resource and hold the customer is on the call for a little bit period, but however, you have to close the call and move forward. You will not give that paying the customer to call again. Most of the time it will happen. They have to tell all the stories again, and again we dig back on the information and get the details and go into that solution again. It is definitely a pain for us, pain for any of the thing. So the creativity is in a major part here. The creativity, what is the creativity we are measuring? We are going to improve is on what is on the business side, and how we are giving the right solution to the customer to reach out on the right product, what they are expecting, or right solution, what they are expecting. And the second thing, and the customer reaching to the contact center, definitely if they need some of the clarification or some of the complaint or something like that. Balaji is rightly touched upon the point on reducing of paying of adding, loading the information to that, and instead of that they can able to take a photograph and do the OCR and send the information to that application. The application automatically pre-fill the entire thing and do that. So that's why we are feeding the information from the various thing. So that way we can able to creatively we can add upon utilizing the new AI technology tools, because whenever we are getting the customer information, most of the information we are getting, and all the information is in our backend database. So once the customer reaches and from his registered mobile number, we can get all the data on the last transaction, or what is the loans they can take from us, and how much payment they have made, and all the information it is in place, so that we can able to give that clear input to them instead of we are go out and larger waiting period to the customer. So that's creativity. Probably pretty much Vignesh and Balaji is mostly covered the point what you asked for.
okay, thanks, Paul. Yeah. So like a lot of good points here, like on this front, like so how technology have evolved and the user experience, and also this brings us to one important point that what is expectation from the customers, right? Like all three of you mentioned, like the customer is also expecting like to be able to make it easy, faster, and and the closure on the same call, right? Now, they're not willing to wait for longer, right? Vignesh mentioned, it's not days of 35, 45 days for approval anymore. So those days are gone, right? Nobody's waiting for that long. So the expectation have also caught up in the recent time. So we have to naturally progress to that in that direction to cater their expectation. Yeah. So this brings us to the last discussion point here for today. So this is again, I'll take input from all three of you. When it comes to customer experience, people talk about NPS and CSAT and go-to metrics, right? These two are predominantly as a go-to metrics they anyone talk about. Okay, do you also use them as a key metric or anything else beside these two? And how do you use technology to enhance your customer experience metrics, right? How do you bring something out that is able to help to see, okay, I have done a good job, or our as a company we are providing a good customer support or service or things like that, or experience for that matter.
Let me take this question as an first, Uttaman.
Yeah.
There is a major difference in the CSAT and NPS. Normally, if you look at CSAT is a customer satisfaction survey. The customer satisfaction normally talk about how we received your ticket or call and how we answered your call, or you are happy with our service or you're not happy with the service. So this is basically talk about the CSAT survey. Most of the organization will perform, all the service industries normally will do that. NPS isn't recently evolved, and not recently, it's NPS evolved along with the CSAT actually. This is an improved version of NPS. NPS is predominantly talk about how the customer is promoting the specific solution or specific company to the next customer, the next user. So it is an invariably the companies or the organizations are using customers is a reference customer to bring another customer. That's a major thing on the NPS. So I can give an example. CSAT normally asks us if you want to happy with the survey, rate 1 to 10. 1 is very low and 10 is probably good. 9 marks, 8 marks we can given, probably the customer satisfaction is very good. The NPS questions are different. NPS normally asks the question, you want to recommend this product to your another person? Yes means it is in something rating, no means something rating. Okay. So I'm going to recommend this product to that another one customer. Yes means I'm satisfied, I'm going to recommend this. Probably it will follow up questions to come up with which area it is and it is relevant for you and how it is useful, and it is really you're using on it for the other thing and all blah blah and all the things relevant related based questions popping up to exactly find out the clear information from the customer. If you look at the KPI, if you look at all the KPIs 90 plus, no doubt about that. Even not NPS, all the KPIs 90 plus. So the major difference from the both and how the customer end user is act as marketing of the product, and the second one understanding the pain area, anything he is facing with the product or service. So that's main difference from the NPS and the CSAT.
Okay, thanks, Paul. Balaji, Vignesh, you know.
Yeah, very interesting topic. Okay, so I'll take a detour for a little bit. Certainly, for an organization, this metrics are paramount of important because some benchmark need to be there. From that, we need to start scaling. But take the other side. We also would have given rating sometimes fast. Downtimes were recommended.
Yeah.
We would have filled a form. Downtimes we are recommended actually. Okay, so these metrics are required to have some kind of a benchmark. But where I come is like, can I take a brand and make it personalized for them? Okay, if they have some attachment to the brand, okay, this metrics doesn't matter actually. Here in a few use cases in Chennai, there are certain large retail companies are there where customer care nothing would be there, but huge problem. They'll go on buying repeated purchase. but zero customer care will be there. If any queries come to cloud, nothing. But still people go there and buy. Same people go there and buy. Okay. It's like awareness. Similarly, some kind of like branding, be it an FMCG brand, something. No, we keep using the same product. Okay. Every time. So from industry to industry, it differs actually. The score ratings, everything. So what I would say is, if you can touch base with the personally with the customer, if they come back to you for the similar product once again, that's a success. For example, I'm from financial domain. I do various financial offering. Could be a personal loan, could be a business loan, could be credit card, gold loan, whatever it is. If customer has taken one financial service, and if the same customer comes and approach me for another financial service, my success lies there. Suppose due to certain reasons, I can't able to fulfill his service requirement. But within 3 months or 6 months, if we can able to fulfill service requirement due to certain parameters, if I can go back to him and tell him, if I educate the customers, what we do is we have an interesting program, because if anybody applies for, I'll come from a loan perspective right now. If anybody applies for a loan, it gets multiple times rejected. Nobody goes to the customer and say, what is the reason you got rejected? Because people are scared. They say, because if they say your CIBIL is not there, your bank account is not there, now people get offended. But we have done it in a very, very nice way. We go to the customer and we say, what is the reason for it? And we also help them out to get it done in 3 months to 6 months time. So we have a plan. First, we tell them the reason, and first there will be a policy like I need to touch base every week once, then it's 15 days, then it's monthly once. So we have a constant engagement. After 3 months, we tell them, sir, everything is over. Whatever I asked you, just give me only that document alone. Then I process, that's it. So customer has a wow effect. Then personally touch base with the customer. I have customer data. I have an anniversary. I know the kids detail, everything, whatever maximum information I capture of the customer or prospect. I call them, I wish them. Somehow I try to create a brand awareness. It's mine. That's it now. The scores are important, certainly, no doubt on that. But if you touch with a personal branding with them, no, they'll come back to you for each time. Okay, you see whether you can able to take this personal branding to them. That's my submission. Because if you go and see even the British Airways to the like Benz to everybody, no, customer comes and gives a lot of complaints. Have you gone to any of the huge? Because right now what happens, since we expense all this product from Zomato to Swiggy to Uber to everything, no, people benchmark with you all this product. People travel in British Airways, they come and apply here. Okay, they want the service level has been at par with any industry. They don't see you're belonging to this industry, I need only this. No, the service level need to be at par with all the industry. So that's how customer has been benchmarked right now. Okay. So there are complaints even for the highest levels and also. But if you can take this as a personal branding, if you touch with the customer, I think you are in the game. Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah. Good point, Bharat. Yeah. Vignesh, you have anything to add or?
Sir, just I'll add an example alone, sir. Most of the point what Balaji sir has given is the most valuable one. Okay.
Yeah.
So, IDFC, right? So they wanted to personalize everything and to acquire customers and to customize or to acquire new customers. We say NTB, new to bank customers and all. They came up with an idea of giving the account numbers of their mobile numbers. The first 2 digits alone will be of it, either of it is savings bank account or current account. That's it. Remaining 10 digit will be of your mobile number itself, so that it will be very easy to acquire the customers. So this is one example which IDFC used to personalize thing. And RBL came up with a new such idea where you can keep your date of birth as your account number or something like that, adding some prefix alone for savings account and current account. And one other addition thing which I wanted to add on the loan perspective, like sir said, is that everyone wants loan or any data, all the loans to be closed and sanctioned and to be dispersed on ease. Okay. As of last financial year on digital lending side, last year alone, it was almost 28,000 crores, which is being dispersed to multiple digital lending platforms. Okay. and it is expected to grow to 10 lakh crores by 2030.
Oh.
10 lakh crores, okay, on an early basis. So the entire banking system itself is around 91 lakh crores as of today. Now, if you imagine, people wants everything to made it ease. Okay, now technology is being evolved, and like sir said, the service, the personal touch which you give the preference which is being given to the customer matters a lot. They don't mind if they are paying extra of 1% or 2% on the interest rate, but the care which you give to them matters a lot.
Yeah,
That's it. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
absolutely.
Where this technology is being very much useful in that front.
Yeah. That's the whole point, right? That's what is enabling and making it possible. Yeah. Very well said. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's a good point.
Uttama, one point where which
Yeah.
not touched is like, if since it's being a contact center solution, okay, people need to think whether they need to go with the cloud or some on-prem solution. Okay, what I see from customer experience, because it's an evolving stage. We don't know how many people to deploy it. Today I'll have only one. Tomorrow I'll scale up to 10. Tomorrow I'll scale down my business. Then once I'll scale up to 100. Then I'll bring it down.
Yeah.
For all these capabilities and everything, if everything is in a cloud hosted model, I would see a lot of benefit in this value added in this, because I'm not spending anything from OpEx standpoint. I just focus only my business and see how to scale up the business for the, what is the minimum people required. So this one thing takeaway I want to give to the entire team who's listening here. Thank you.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Yeah, because you want to concentrate on your core business, and so that's what you're good at, and that's what you want to excel at, right? And if you as a company, if you try to get into a lot of different aspects, and that can dilute our core concentration, and so we might end up losing our the focus actually. So that's not good. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, good. Yeah, good point. Yeah. So I think we covered all good discussion points, and so what we wanted to discuss about the technology and how it's helping the contact center and everything. So this is the time for the audience to post their questions, and then so we can have the panelists give their
One
feedback.
more point we need to consider, since we see a lot of data breaches are happening, huge security theft is happening and all. And this whatever solution which we are discussing right now, which has got humongous customer data points. So my suggestion is, whoever is looking or watching this, find out the right partner who has built a lot of security protocols among this. Okay, because the data need to be safeguarded, even though it's being a cloud solution. We ensure whatever the data protection mechanism are there, because end of the day, it's not our data, it's our customer data. So we should have more cautious call on that issue.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we are answerable, we are responsible for that. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
To add up that point, sir, 10 days before RBI has come up with a circular, all the financial institutions, upon completing their KYC process or validation, all their cloud storage has to be transferred to the relevant infrastructure, which means if someone is collecting the KYC document and storing in the cloud, they have to transfer it or store it in their server, which is now popped up 10 days before by RBI.
Meaning that they should not leave it there in the cloud, or
they shouldn't leave it in the cloud. It should be transferred to their premises, because if there is any security breach, who is going to take the responsibility? The bank or any financial institution, they can't say it was in that cloud or their responsibility, because RBI has given the NBFC license only to the banks and NBFC. So we can able to, the RBI stated very clearly, we can able to question you or the bank or the NBFC only. I can't go and question the cloud. So you should take the responsibility. Once the process, KYC process is over, you should take all the data to your premises. It came 10 days before.
Very interesting, actually, because see the challenge, right, for the small company, or even for a big company for that matter, to able to have a security and safeguard the system.
Maintenance of the server, it's a big thing.
It is not easy. It is very expensive. Not just expensive. Uh, Finding the right resource and being able to keep them engaged for throughout the year, it is not easy, right? Because um, it's not just the compensation that's going to keep employee happy for a security top security guy, right? It's not about the salary. It's about the he has to have some job satisfaction, meaning I should be doing taking care of certain number of servers or certain number of something he everybody has some expectation. It is very difficult to keep up with all the demands in that way, so those are the advantage what cloud brings in. It's very unfortunate how what RBI says, but I see what RBI is saying, because they want to be able to question, because they don't want the customer to finger point saying it's not me, it was done by some cloud provider. So yeah, so that becomes like a gray area for the RBI to go after. Yeah. So we got the first question. So I think it is for Balaji. So the question is, sir, do you think over a period of time, chatbots can effectively handle complex customer inquiries while maintaining a positive customer experience?
Already it is handling much more complex queries, I would say. So 3 examples I would be able to say it out of my experience. I did one chatbot, humanless chatbot, okay, for a collection mechanism. Only the distressed customer, like person cannot able to handle it. Let the chatbot, or let the voice bot handle it, automatic voice bot. So we trained the voice bot. We've seen a pretty good result there in that. So it has been trained in such a way how to counter attack the calls whenever customer calls, how to counter attack and give the inputs what they needed. Because at one point of time, if I'm kept on calling some distress calls, I'll get frustrated. I'm also human, okay. But if it can be given to a machine which can talk a human-like voice, understand what customer is talking and then reply it, okay, because it doesn't get distressed, it goes based on data, okay. It's in a pretty good result, did a POC, excellent, point number one. Second, whenever we go with food delivery apps or anything, multiple times some issues will happen, we apply for a cancellation, food will get, something will happen. Everything is handled by chatbots, okay, without any money comes to account immediately. Anywhere, if cancellation happens, a chat pops up, you put the relevant reason, it's all natural language. None of the people are sitting at the back end, it gets handled automatically. Third thing, what I would say is, if you can, from a business standpoint, if your chatbot is not only the customer query, your chatbot also need to give the business income out of it for a sale or whichever product you are offering it. If we can create those, for example, from a financial standpoint, if I say if we can able to create a curated queries where I get only few inputs from customer, if I can able to process and do disbursement, my business happens there. So all these 3 areas, the chatbots are helping us. One is from sales standpoint, another from customer query standpoint, third is from distressed call, where I don't want to keep on engaging my team to call, okay, where I can give to an automated voice. All these 3 areas, it's purely mature right now, where we can able to experiment it right.
Yeah, very, very, very good examples. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks, Balaji. So, audience, any other questions for anyone?
I think the chatbot, everybody need to experiment and explore it right now, because previously what happened in WhatsApp and all, you will put 1, 2, 3 questionnaires when you will come. Okay, all the voice chat, what has happened from 8 question, 9 question, 10 question, you need to choose the question. Now the taken, you can type it whatever you want and it replaces it automatically. Okay, so it's getting mature. And third is now local language is coming, natural language is coming. You can type it in whichever language you know right now. So it has come to that stage right now. So if anybody who is not adapted to this, it's the right time they need to jump to this bandwagon and keep experimenting. Certainly, a lot of players are there in the market. Just do a small POC, see how relevant it is, then go on to, because here what happened, people are willing to do a lot of POC for you. The days have gone where you need to spend money and then test it out. People are willing to do POC if a business case is right for them, if fitment is right for them, then take it and move forward.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, good point. Any other questions, audience? Otherwise, we'll end the session. Okay, so looks like that's all the questions. So let me thank all three of you for taking time to be with us and sharing your experience and feedback. So it's been very helpful, and thanks so much for being here. And so we look forward to be talking to you on a similar format or a different format in the future. Thanks so much. So have a nice evening, rest of the evening.
Thanks very much, Uttam.
Thank you.
Thanks, Bharat. Thanks.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
thanks. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks
Thank
to
you.
the audience.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.